One. Alrighty, friends. Now I know you're all dying to talk about soccer and nothing else today. Nah, I'm just messing with you. We're talking football. Good afternoon and welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick Drago. Today on the program, of course, we got to talk a little bit about football. NFL playoffs right around that corner, so we're going to get into that. Of course, we're going to recap NHL, NBA, all the fun stuff from this weekend, including my new favorite NHL player who saved a bunch of puppies and almost got a date with Anna Kendrick. We're going to get into it. Stick with us, friends. Sports starts now. Hello and welcome to Sports with Nick Drago. That's me. For those of you that are new to the program, first off, enjoy your first experience here. We love new friends and we hope you stay for more. What we do is we talk about all the sports news and information from the previous week and give you some insight into what's coming in the next week. And I just realized those of you watching our YouTube video will notice a very strange missing addition here. Whitey Ford usually sits up here. There he goes. Come here, Whitey. There you go. Good boy. Who's a good Whitey Ford? Who's going to strike out the Red Sox? I'm sorry. Got stuck in a 1960s time loop here. Okay, well, we're back. Let's talk. Let's chat a little bit. I had a great weekend. I did nothing. Actually, I'm a little sick nasally. I'm sorry if I sound like mucus is just going to start flowing out of me. I'm sorry. All right, a lot of football to go over because NFL playoffs are a week away. Now we know who's going to be in, who's going to be out. There's one game that hasn't finished yet, but we'll update you at least on the score and what the most likely scenario is. And I'm going to take this time now to let you know we're doing an NFL playoff preview. So far, I've confirmed two special guests for the program. Joe Calabro from GoLocalProv.com. He covers the New England Patriots. And my good buddy, Jorge Pajares, who's been helping me shit-talk the Jets for years. So we got at least two guests on the show. I'm waiting to hear from one more. So stay tuned because that's coming mid-week this week. You'll get to start your new year off right, and we'll get that preview to you out before Saturday's games. All right, let's get into what happened this weekend. All right, lots of games to talk about this weekend. While I'm talking about some of these games, though, I'm also keeping my eyes on the 49ers Seahawks score. It's right now 26-21 with a minute 37 to go. Seahawks are on the 23rd-yard line, and it's 2nd and 10. So we'll be keeping tabs on that as we also talk about the games and the standings and everything else. So I'll be a little bit excited as we do this. Kind of cool, right? Okay, cool. Jets beat the Bills today, 13-6. Now the Jets ended up in the season 7-9. Honest to God, I think if Sam Darnold didn't have mono, they would have won 3 more games. I think they would have been a playoff team if Darnold didn't go down. By the way, Seahawks short pass to Tyler Lockett. Now they're on the 12-yard line with 1:33 to go. Still down by 5 points. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. All right. Ravens beat the Steelers 28-10. In that game, RG3 actually played for Baltimore. Pretty cool. They're obviously benching. Baltimore is going to want to save up as much as they can. Gus Edwards had 130 yards. Not bad. Eagles beat the Giants 34-17, paving their way into the playoffs and kicking Dallas to the curb. Sucks to suck, Dallas. 55 seconds to go, by the way, in the Seahawks game. Still on the 12-yard line. So we'll move past that. Pardon me for 1 second. Okay, we're good. Bengals got a win over the Browns, 33-23. Dalton had a pretty sweet touchdown, 279 yards and 3 TDs, by the way, for Baker Mayfield. but not quite enough for him to get the Browns another victory over the Bengals. And so Freddie Kitchens fired. Yeah, and honestly, he probably should have been. The Browns should have been a much better team this year. Now it looks like most of their guys, like Landry wants to go, and who's the other one? Odell Beckham wants gone. So this should have been a great season for the Browns. Turned out to be a much better season for the Ravens. Whoops. Packers, they get a win over the Lions 23-20. Let's see. The Chiefs, they beat the Chargers 31-21. And the Chiefs, thanks to the Patriots losing today, they get a bye in the first round. A little update on the game. It's now 3rd and 10, again on the 12-yard line. Seahawks have to go for it here if they want to win this game. The Bears, they get a win over the Vikings 21-19. That hurts the Vikings as they thought they had a chance to win the division. Looks like the Packers will take that one home. The Dolphins, like I said, they got a win over the Patriots. This is their 5th win of the season. Remember, they started out like 0-9, 0-10, something ridiculous before losing to the Jets. Before beating the Jets, I mean. And the Patriots, this just shows how bad the Patriots are right now. The fact that they lost to the Dolphins, and they did not look good throughout this game. So Patriots, not only did they lose the number 2 seed, they'll have to play a bye week, and they don't look like the team to beat for that bye week. Falcons beating the Buccaneers 28-22. Saints get a win over the Panthers 42-10. And before we move on here, the Saints actually worked out our guy, Antonio Brown. Maybe he'd be a good fit. He absolutely was not a good fit. The one thing they said to him during the tryout, don't bring an entourage with you, don't bring cameras, none of that stuff. You know exactly what he did. He brought all the stuff, the whole kit and caboodle. Him and Sean Payton sat down, and yeah, that wasn't going to work. Not at all. By the way, congratulations to Drew Brees, number 1 most passing touchdowns in NFL history, and Tom Brady is actually number 2 on that list now after passing Peyton Manning today. So those two will be duking it out. Who knows how many seasons the two have left in the tank, but they'll be there. Cowboys beat the Redskins 47-16. Not enough for the Cowboys, even though they finally had a decent game. 4 touchdowns for Dak Prescott, 303 yards. Very likely that Garrett will be sacked after the season, or at least that's what everybody thinks. Jerry Jones works in his own weird stratosphere, so who knows. Broncos beat the Raiders 16-15. Raiders will not be going to the playoffs, unfortunately. That being their last year in Oakland. Next year they'll be the Las Vegas Raiders. How do you like the sound of that? Rams beat the Cardinals 31-24. Jaguars, they beat the Colts 38-20. And the Titans got a win over the Texans 35-14. And Titans themselves, they also got into the playoffs. By the way, Derrick Henry had 211 yards. Not a bad game for him. Let's take a look at those standings. Okay, final standings for the AFC. In the East, Patriots were 12-4, Bills were 10-6, Jets were 7-9, Dolphins 5-11. Baltimore Ravens, they clinched they clinched home field advantage through the whole playoffs, 14-2. Steelers are 8-8. Oh, hold on a second, real quick. The Seahawks are first and goal with 42 seconds left on the clock. They are first and goal on the 1-yard line. And no huddle. Russell Wilson spikes the ball. He's going to stop the clock. There's 23 seconds left. They got to punch it in there, and the Seahawks are going to win this game. Holy cow. This is exciting. This is really exciting stuff. Okay. The Steelers are 8-8. Browns were 6-10. Bengals are 2-14. I can't stop smiling right now. Texans are 10-6. Titans 9-7. They both of those teams are in the playoffs. Sure. Colts are in there 7-9. Jaguars 6-10. Chiefs are 12-4. Broncos 7-9. Raiders 7-9, and the Chargers at 5-11. Nice work for the Broncos at 7-9. Didn't expect them to go second in that division. So your playoff teams right now are Patriots, Bills, Ravens, Texans, Titans, and Chiefs. And we'll look at the playoff scenarios in a moment. For the NFC, hold on one second, is a penalty. 4-yard penalty on San Francisco? No, on Seattle. It's a 4-yard penalty. So they're on the San Francisco 5-yard line. It's 2nd and goal with 23 seconds left on the clock. All right, moving into the NFC, the Eagles at 9-7. EAGLES. They make the playoffs. Go Eagles. 8-8 for the Cowboys, 4-12 for the Giants, and 3-13 for the Redskins. Packers are 13-3. Vikings 10-6. The Bears are 8-8, and the Lions are 3-12. I made a mistake. I thought the Vikings were still playing for a playoff spot, but that's right. They lost to the Packers last week, so that kind of doomed and gloomed them. Saints were 13-3. Falcons 7-9. Good work for them. They won their last 4 games. Kind of necessary after they started the season with a big dud. By the way, it's 3rd and goal in this Seahawks game. Not over yet. They have to score on one of these next 2 plays. Where the Falcons are 7-9, Bucks are 7-9, Panthers 5-11. 49ers are right now, as of this exact moment, 12-13, and the Seahawks are 11-14. Winner gets the division. And wait, we have a play. It's incomplete. It's now 4th and goal on San Francisco's 5-yard line. This is it. This is for all the marbles. There's 15 seconds left. Russell Wilson has to get this one. They have to. 5 yards away. All right. 9-7 for the Rams. They unfortunately will not be making the playoffs because they play in a pretty damn tough division. And the Cardinals, they are 5-10. So let's see if we can talk about some of these playoff scenarios. All right. So right now, this game is not over, although in that brief interlude there, Russell Wilson did have a pass to Hollister. It was 1 yard short. There was a review, but it looks like San Francisco now has the ball, and they're basically just going to run out the clock. There's 9 seconds left, so it's on the 1 yard line. So looks like San Francisco is going to win this thing. It was really exciting there for the Seahawks, but right here, these are our most likely matchups. So you're going to have in the AFC the Patriots taking on the Titans, and while I really don't think the Patriots are that good of a team, it is playoff time, it is New England, and it is the Titans. So I'm actually going to go with the Patriots in this one. I didn't think I'd pick them to get out of Wild Card Week, but I am. I'm going with the Patriots as of now. Hey, maybe things will change later in the week. We'll see. You'll have to find out during my NFL playoff preview. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it more later. And there it is. It's official. San Francisco, by the way. They won it. They'll get a bye. And so, yeah, Seahawks will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles by the looks of it. Okay. Texans and Bills will be playing each other. That's a tough matchup. I think they're both pretty even teams. I'm not a big fan of the Bills. They haven't won a playoff game since 1995, so I'm going to go with the Texans in this one. Saints and Vikings, to me, that's all about them Saints. I'm totally going New England, and I'm definitely picking the Seahawks to beat the Eagles, because, oh boy, Eagles didn't look good. But remember last year I said the same thing when the Eagles played the Bears, and I really didn't see the Eagles getting past the Bears, and then we had what you would now call a double doink. So, barring all of those things, I'm still picking the Seahawks to beat Philadelphia. Dang it, such a shame they couldn't win. But it's okay. It's all right. These things happen. All right, friends, we're going to take a commercial break, but when we return, we're going to get into NHL, we're going to get into NBA, and we still got to talk about my new favorite athlete. He won our Athlete of the Week, and he might get a date with Anna Kendrick or save a bunch of puppies. I don't really know. So stick with us, friends, because sports. We're going to be right back. Hello friends, I'm Nick Drago. Yes, you know me from Sports with Nick Drago. But did you know I had another podcast? It's true, I do. It's called Big Spoon, Little Spoon. Myself and my good buddy Jamie Grum like to discuss, well, everything. Random topics from the future to the Wild West to what the heck are lanternflies. We talk about it all. So if you're interested in some fun and entertaining entertainment, join us on Big Spoon, Little Spoon. We pick a random topic out of a hat. We talk about it, knowing no knowledge of what it's going to be before we pick that topic out of the hat, and then we do a little bit of research, come back and see what we learned. So if you're interested, check us out. Again, it's called Big Spoon, Little Spoon. You can find us on all your favorite podcasting apps. You can find us on YouTube, on the Facebook. You can also email us with ideas that you want us to talk about on the show. Email us at wehateforks@gmail.com. Again, wehateforks@gmail.com. Plus, we got Volume 2 coming out in the new year. So check back at the end of this, January. At the end of January, we're going to have some new episodes for you. But you can check out Volume 1 in the meantime right here. Well, not right here, but right now at this moment. Just not after you finish this podcast, then go listen to that one. All right, thanks, friends. Hope you enjoy the rest of this show, but there's another good one out there, too. All right, I'm done now.
And they're going to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
And welcome back to the show. Clearly there's a camera in my way. I'm not even paying attention here. Okay. All right, welcome back to the show, friends. Let's talk about the NBA. A lot of crazy games this weekend. Injury scares. It's okay. LeBron's playing. All good. All right, so where are we at here? Celtics beat the Cavaliers. Celtics beat the Cavaliers on Friday, 129-117. Tatum and Brown combined for 64 points in that game. Incredible. Kevin Love looked pretty good with 30 points as well. The guy is trying to be traded somewhere. Thunder beat the Hornets 104-102 in overtime. Absolutely crushed them. Magic just barely beat the 76ers. That's a win. That's a game they should not have lost. But 98-97. Bucks got a win over the Hawks, 112-86. Heat beat the Pacers 113-112, and the Warriors got a win over the Suns. And I think that's their fourth straight win. All right, Golden State. Way to go, guys. Way to go. All right, let's look at Saturday here. The Knicks, they got a win themselves over the Wizards, 107-100. Knicks have been looking pretty good, especially Julius Randle, since Coach Fizdale was fired. Rockets going to win over the Nets 108-98. 44 points goes to James Harden. He also had 10 rebounds. That's a double-double, baby. Nuggets, they going to win 119-110 over the Grizzlies. And I'm sorry, even I thought that was ridiculous. 119-110. Raptors beat the Celtics 113-97. The Raptors are hurting right now, but they just don't seem to care. Absolutely beat the Celtics there. Pelicans get a win over the Pacers 120-98. Bulls beat the Hawks 116-81. Cavaliers got a win over the Timberwolves 94-88. The Heat, they beat the 76ers. 2 losses for the Sixers this weekend? Come on, guys. Embiid had 35 points and 11 rebounds, but it wasn't enough. Sixers lose by 1 to the Heat. And then the Spurs, they beat the Pistons 136-109. Mavericks end that win streak for the Warriors. They win 141-121. 31 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists for Doncic. And yeah, that is a triple-double. Bucks beat the Bucks beat the Magic 111-100. Suns beat the Kings 112-110. Lakers getting a win against the Trailblazers 128-120. And the Jazz beat the Clippers 120-107. Patrick Beverley was injured during that game. Coach Doc Rivers did say he was concerned. But we don't know much as of yet. Let's go to today's games. Some of them have not ended yet. Hornets-Grizzlies, that one just ended actually a few seconds ago. Grizzlies going to win 117-104. Nuggets, they beat the Kings 118-115, or they're about to beat the Kings. I'm sorry, there's 9 seconds left in that game. Lakers are currently beating the Mavs. It's 37-31 in the second. Thunder beat the Raptors 98-97. And the Rockets, they get a loss. Haha, you thought I was going to say win. No, they lost to the Pelicans 127-112. Lonzo Ball, 27 points and 10 rebounds. He also had 8 assists. But double-double for Lonzo. And before we get to the standings, I should note, and I forgot to mention this, but Doncic, he had 24 threes in that game over the Warriors. That's pretty damn good. 24 three-pointers? Anyway, all right, let's look at the... oh my gosh. Let's look at the standings. Bucks, they're on first place right now, 29-5. Heat are 24-8. They're 4 games back. Celtics are in third at 22-8. Raptors are 22-11. Sixers are 23-12. Pacers are 21-12. Nets are 16-15. And the Magic are in there as well at 14-18. I should mention the Heat right now, they are on a 5-game winning streak. The Hornets, meanwhile, are on a 5-game losing streak, and they are very far down the food chain. Bulls have moved up in recent weeks. Oh my goodness, what is that? Bulls have moved up in recent weeks. They're 5-5 in their last 10, and they're now 1.5 games out of 8th place, where 2 weeks ago they were kind of pretty low on that food chain, very close to where the Knicks and the Hawks are. Knicks have also won 5 of their last 10 games. Again, coaching changes really turned that team around, and maybe if they keep winning, there is a chance for them. But right now, let's not say that. Let me knock on wood here. The Hawks, meanwhile, they're 0-10. They've lost 10 straight. They're 6-27 in dead last in the East. Going over to the West side. The Lakers are still number 1 on top, 25-7. They did lose 4 games recently, so that is hurting them a little bit. The Nuggets are 22-9. They're 2.5 games back. Then you got the Mavericks at 21-10. You got the Clippers 23-11. Rockets are 22-11. The Jazz are 20-12. Thunder are 17-15, and the Portland Trailblazers, these guys are hanging on. They're 14-19. They've lost their last 3 games, and yet here they are at the number 8th seed with a playoff chance. There's plenty more season to go, of course, but right now it's the Trailblazers. Right behind them are the Spurs. The Spurs are 6-4 in their last 10, so they're really pushing right now. And then you got the Grizzlies, Suns, Kings, Timberwolves, Pelicans, and the Warriors. Timberwolves, by the way, they're 1-9 in their last 10, so they're having a pretty rough go of it at the moment. All right, and I would like to take a look at the some upcoming games this week that you should keep your eyes on. Let's see. For Monday, it doesn't look like there's anything too exciting going on. You got Philadelphia and Indiana. The Sixers and the Pacers are playing on Tuesday, so I would certainly tune into that one. You got 2 playoff-bound teams. Then you got the Rockets and Nuggets are playing late, and the Dallas Mavericks play the Oklahoma City Thunder. So 3 great games to watch on Tuesday. I would tune into those. For Wednesday, you could just take a day off. Thursday, what good games do we have Thursday? Well, again, the Pacers play another playoff team, Denver. You also have Toronto, Miami on Thursday. That should be a good one. You got Brooklyn, the Nets playing the Mavericks, and you got the yeah, that's about it. I mean, Spurs and Thunders, that's Thunders. Spurs and Thunder, that's a pretty big one, too. That's also Thursday. And then Friday's matchup sees the 76ers take on Houston, so rough week for the Sixers. They really have to bounce back after losing 2 back-to-back gut-wrenching games. Miami plays Orlando. That could be a statement game for the Magic. And that's kind of it. If you want to watch some bad basketball, you can watch the Suns and the Knicks on Friday. I don't recommend it, though. One last thing I did want to mention, LeBron James, congratulations not only on being named the AP Top Male Athlete of the Decade, but over the weekend, today, I believe, in tonight's game, he got his 9,000th assist off a dunk by Anthony Davis. And where does that put him all time? I don't know. NBA. Let's look this up. NBA all time assist leaders. And, wow, really far behind John Stockton, for sure. But not that far off from the top. He is in 9th, behind Isaiah Thomas. So, this is a little bit off, because I guess it doesn't account for tonight's games. He's only a few, maybe 100 or so away from Chris Paul, but he's about 6,000 away from catching up to John Stockton. Certainly possible for a guy like LeBron. I mean, he's still got a few years left in the tank. That would certainly be an incredible feat for him. But he's in the top 10 for assists. And 9,000, that's a huge number. Congratulations to Mr. LeBronathan James. All right, let's move over to hockey. Bruins, they got a win over the Sabres, 3-0. Bergeron has now 3 straight 2-goal games. So another good one for him. The Maple Leafs got a win over the Devils, 5-4. Now, this game did see the Maple Leafs lose Ilya Mikheyev. The 25-year-old rookie is going to be out for 3 months. He was cut by the skate of Jesper Bratt on the Devils. And so it actually sounds like Mikheyev severed an artery, a couple tendons, so he will be having extensive surgery, but he is expected to make a full recovery. Rangers got a win over the Hurricanes, 5-3. Capitals beat the Blue Jackets, 2-1. Penguins got a huge win over the Predators, 5-2. They were up 3-0 in that game, and almost blew it. No, I'm just kidding. They were fine. The Blues... I'm sorry, I'm thinking of they had a game the day before, I think. They were up 3-0 and then blew it. This game, they did pretty darn well. The Blues got a win over the Jets, 5-4. Avalanche beat the... no, they didn't. The Wild beat the Avalanche, 6-4. Blackhawks got a win over the Islanders, 5-2. Flames beat the Oilers, 5-1. Ducks got a win over the Golden Knights, 4-3. And it looks like our pals, the Kings... they get a win over the Sharks, 3-2. Robin Lehner for the Blackhawks had quite a good game against his former team, the Islanders. I'm still shocked that the Islanders let him go, especially after getting them through the first round of the playoffs against the Penguins. The guy, he's just a brick wall in net. I don't think he's a capable starter. Like, I just don't see him as a consistent starter, but I think he's a phenomenal goalie, and they should have held on to the guy. Rangers beat the Maple Leafs on Saturday, 5-4. Lightning got a win over the Canadiens, 5-4. Panthers beat the Red Wings, 5-4. Jesus. This is the game I'm talking about, the Penguins. 6-4. Penguins are up 3-0 in the first, and then blew 3 goals, and had to come back and score a couple more, but all is good. They won. Hurricanes beat the Capitals 6-4. Stars beat the Avalanche 3-2. Canucks beating the Kings 3-2. Golden Knights getting a win 4-1 over the Coyotes. And the Sharks, 6 straight goals, beating the Flyers 6-1. That was all on Saturday. And let's take a look here at Sunday's games. I know the big game that everybody's been talking about, of course, is the Blackhawks Blue Jackets game. We will get to that, not to worry. Flyers right now are tied with the Ducks in the third period. It's 1-1. Canucks are beating the Flames 3-0 in the second. Blues beat the Jets 4-1. Devils beat the Senators 4-3. Islanders, oh my goodness, they won 3-1 over the Wilds. Bruins beat the Sabres 3-2. Lightning beat the Red Wings 2-1. Panthers got a win over the Canadiens 6-5. And the Stars beat the Coyotes 4-2. All right, now let's roll back up here. Blackhawks beat the Blue Jackets 3-2 in a shootout. Let's talk about how this game should have gone. Tortorella, Coach Torts for the Blue Jackets, he was pretty ticked off about the result of this game. I'm trying to pull up on my phone here. So essentially what went down was in the final couple minutes of the game, right? There was about 19 seconds left. The clock ran down to 1.1 seconds. The Blackhawks were called for having too many men on the ice, right? after that call, Tortorella asked them to put 0.2 seconds, or the 1.1 seconds back on the clock, right? So it should have been 19.2. They rounded it down to just 19 even. And so afterwards, Zach Werenski, right? Zach Werenski scored a goal off Robin Lehner, but it went in the net right just as the buzzer sounded. It went right in the net. So it should have been a good goal. If that 1.1 seconds was on the clock, that would have been a good goal, and the Blue Jackets would have won in overtime. Instead, because that 1.1 seconds wasn't there, they end up going to a shootout in which the goalie, I'm going to butcher this name so bad, Joonas Korpisalo, had to be helped off the ice after Jonathan Toews scored a goal in the first round of the shootout. So they lose their goalie, they lost the game, and they should have had it. So Tortorella, he went nuts. So these are some of his quotes here. He said, so the whistle's blown at 9.2 seconds on the clock. For some reason, the clock is run down a second and a tenth to 18.1. Whatever reason, I have no goddamn idea. So instead of resetting the clock, they tell our captain, we're not going to do it. The league office in Toronto, if they don't step in, refs don't do their freaking job, and now we lose the game and we lose our goalie. And was there another one down here? There were a few. He was pretty if I can quote him, goddamn pissed about the whole thing, and I don't blame him. Let's take a look at those standings. All right, starting in the East. Oh, I just had it on a good spot. What happened here? Starting in the East, the Bruins are still destroying the competition, although they're only 4-3-3 in their last 10. They did win their last 3 games, so they're starting to come out of this little awkward spiral they had. Either way, they're 10 points ahead of the Maple Leafs, so they have 57. Maple Leafs have 47. Remember, a few weeks ago, Maple Leafs were dead in the water. Weren't even going to make the playoffs. They had to fire their coach. Now they're in second place in the division. Pretty big turnaround. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. The Panthers are behind them. Then you have the Lightning, who have also skyrocketed into a playoff spot. You have the Canadiens there at 42 points. The Sabres, who last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, they were in second place. Now they're all the way down at the bottom, 4-5-1 in their last 10. They've lost 3 straight games. Sabres are chokers. Sorry to all my Buffalo fans out there. Then you got the Senators and the Red Wings. They're all the way down there as well. In the Metropolitan, you got the Capitals, of course, on top of this one. The Islanders at 51. Penguins at 50. They've kind of been going back and forth. Penguins, by the way, are 8-2-0 in their last 10 games. Not bad for a team that's lost most of their players for a good stretch of the season. Hurricanes with 48 points, Flyers with 47, Rangers with 42, Jackets with 42, and the Devils still in last place at 32. If the playoffs were to start right now for the East, you got the Bruins, Maple Leafs, and Panthers representing the Atlantic. For the Metro, you'd have the Capitals, Islanders, Penguins. The Hurricanes would be the Metropolitan wildcard, and the Flyers would end up playing in the Atlantic for that other wild card spot. So the Flyers are in there right now. All my Philly fans out there, that could change, but they're doing okay. Moving on to the other side of the country in the West. I know the dividers all over the place. St. Louis, Nashville. Technically, those should be East side teams, but whatever. It's fine. St. Louis, they are on top with 58 points. They're playing phenomenally right now. Right behind them, you have the Avalanche. They're at 50. The Stars at 48. The Jets at 45. The Wild are at 43. And the Predators, man, they've fallen hard this season. They're at 42 with the Blackhawks at 40. In the Pacific, you got the Golden Knights on top now with 48 points. Right behind them are the Coyotes. The Coyotes have been playing strong and consistent, although they've lost their last 3 games. Flames are in there as well, 45. Canucks at 44. And then the Oilers, who just a week or so ago, they were in first place. Now they're in 44, and they are in 5th place in the Pacific. Then you got the Sharks at 37, Ducks at 36, and the Kings at 36. Now, there is a bit of a logjam going on here, because they're only like I said, Let's start over. Bit of a logjam here. The Oilers are 4 points behind the Golden Knights. That's 2 wins. 2 wins, and they're back up in first place. So you have a lot of teams all vying for those 4 spots, really 3 spots. The Jets right now in the Central have one of those 2 wild cards. So the Canucks would be the other wild card, but the Oilers would be like the odd man looking out at the moment. Again, 1 or 2 wins could change that. The Oilers are 2-7-1 in their last 10. Not great, especially because they're trying to make this a turnaround year for them. But either way, not too great. Before I move on, I did want to say ESPN put out rankings for the top 100 NHL players of the decade. And I'm sure you can guess who at least number 1 was on this list. Of course, it was Sidney Crosby, 2 Stanley Cups, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's got a lot of accolades. There's no doubt to me about that one. Here's where I got a little bit surprised. They put Ovechkin at 3 and Connor McDavid at 2. In 4 years, they're saying Connor McDavid had a better decade than Alex Ovechkin. As much as I hate the Capitals, and I hate Ovechkin, and his face, and his tooth gap, and the fact that he won a Stanley Cup, I gotta give the guy props. I mean, he is a pure, nasty scorer. And those 4 years of McDavid cannot compare to 10 years of Alex Ovechkin's, do I have to say it, greatness? I just said it. I feel gross inside. Can we just erase this tape? Is it too late? It's too late. All right, it's fine. Whatever. I said it out loud. I'm going to go shower after this episode. It's all good. No worries. I'm so sad. All right, before we end the show today, I have 2 really great stories to share with you. So initially I had one person in mind for Athlete of the Week, but somebody else emerged that might be better. We have 2 Athletes of the Week this week. I can't. I gotta go with this guy. I gotta go with both of them. So, ever hear of the Elmira Enforcers? Probably not. That's fine. They play for the Federal Prospects Hockey League. And they had a game Friday night against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Now, this season hasn't been too great for the Enforcers. They've lost a lot of players. They had 6 players who were going to be out of the lineup. And so, They needed a rookie. They needed to call on somebody special to come out there on the ice, and that special person was the 55-year-old team owner, Robbie Nichols. Now, I should note, Robbie was drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers in 1983. He actually suited up 25 years after his last season of active professional play. 25 years since he last played on the ice. So, He knew going into it, or at least, so the coach of the team, Brent Clark, knew that he was going to have to suit up, and then they were desperate, so they already had the coach playing. They had one of the injured players coaching the team, so they asked 55-year-old Robbie Nichols to get out there. And so apparently Nichols had a ritual before his best ever game of his career. He went out and he ate a Big Mac and French fries, so he went out and did that little ritual. I think that was in 1992, 98, somewhere around there. And so he did go out and that had a Big Mac and fries. He was a little rough out there on the first shift. He did draw a penalty somewhere in the second period. And actually, one of the opposing team's players walked over to him, skated over to him, and said something along the lines of the fact that his dad played with him on the ice 25 years ago, which probably didn't feel good to Robbie. But he said by the third period he was starting to get his starting to feel pretty good. Now, Robbie did say that may be his last ever professional hockey experience. Although the media department of the Elmira Enforcers would really, really like him to go out there and do it one more time. With a new decade starting in just a few days, he could break Gordie Howe's record of playing in 6 decades. Of course, Nichols then retorted by saying, "Don't ever mention my name in the same sentence as Gordie Howe ever again." So it would be humorous to see if we get to see another game out of this guy. But good on you, good on you, Robbie Nichols, 55 years old, getting out there and showing your stuff. Now, the other person I want to mention was Anthony. Oh boy, I'm gonna mess this name up. Beauvillier, Anthony Beauvillier for the Islanders. So over the weekend, actually it was on Christmas. On Christmas, he took a shot at Anna Kendrick. Tweeted out a tweet to her that just said hi with her name. It's pretty cute, right? It's a nice thing for him to do. And so a storm of fans really tried to help this guy out with Anna Kendrick. And so fans were posting things on Twitter, including, and I'll read a few here. He dog sat for an entire animal shelter last week. He's a real one for sure. Another Twitter user said, "Thanks for performing open heart surgery on me, man. I appreciate it." And this might be my favorite one. "Hey man, thanks for letting me use your gear during that fundraiser you held for the animal shelter to save puppies. Your cup was way too big. But other than that, everything worked just fine. Thanks again." And Anna Kendrick actually responded. 2 days later, she said, "These replies have been my entertainment for the last 2 days. Thank you all for regaling me with the true tales of this man's heroism." So really pulling for you, Anthony. Maybe you get a date with Anna Kendrick. I don't know. We're going to have to find out. But not a bad job getting some support by the fans there. And good luck with all those puppies. Now with that's going to be I'm going to wash my hands. And I'm going to be done with the show. Did that make sense? I don't know. Special thanks, as usual, to Johanna Drago. She is the content editor, logo designer, and set designer of this podcast. Of course, the music you hear is a song called Golden Sunrise by Josh Woodward. A link to his website can be found in the show notes. Also, thank you out there to our social media warriors, including Mary Kay Albert, Joe Calabro from GoLocalProv.com, and Jorge Pajares. Thank you guys so much for agreeing to be on my NFL playoff preview that's going to be coming out before the games this weekend. So look out for that Thursday, Friday. It'll be, whether you follow us on YouTube, Facebook, or just through Apple Podcasts, it's going to be up there for you to enjoy. So I really hope you listen to it. And then that's it. I'm going to go wrap up the show. So if you liked what you heard today, find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, and the Facebook. You can email me, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. Again, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to send me ideas or whatever for the show, or just things you want me to say or do. I don't really have a lot of limitations here, so sure, as long as it's not weird, right? Don't send me weird things, please. And with that, make sure you like, comment, share, tweet, Twitter at me, and of course, do all the fancy computery stuff that I don't really know how to do. I just fake it, and do I make it? I don't know. Thanks again, everybody. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and yeah, I will see you for my NFL playoff preview this week. Good luck to all those teams out there that aren't the New York Jets because they didn't make it in. Caw-caw!